Now back to Miller on Sports, the show that goes beyond the scoreboard. Everything else is just talk. Brought to you by the law offices of Ron Scholl.
For some Southern Women's Show tickets. Matthew Driscoll, UNF men's head basketball coach, joining Miller on Sports. How you doing, Coach?
Doing awesome. Like you said, it's a great, beautiful day, and we really love Jacksonville, so we've really embraced the city and obviously spent a lot of time with you over the last 3 years. We actually met in this office.
We did.
A long time ago, our office studio a long time ago, and I'm a big sports fan as well as a basketball coach, so I can. It's interesting to hear everybody talk about all these different things that are going on.
Oh, well, it is so nice to make some time for us this afternoon. Blue and white opening night tonight at the UNF Arena, following UNF and the JU volleyball match. Well, Coach, a few times I've been told by listeners and friends, man, that Coach Driscoll, he just knows more than just basketball. He knows so much. So I've got to ask you, have you been watching much of the World Series?
My children actually said to me, Dad, why are you watching baseball? You never watch baseball. And I said, when it's a competitive situation at this stage, you really love to see a lot of things. We always tell our guys, when a lemon gets squeezed, you get lemon juice. So when these guys are going to get squeezed, let's see what we have. And it's been awesome. And the coaching strategies and the way they do different things and how they're thinking things through, as a coach, it just makes you think even more about what you're doing and how you're going about it, how you're motivating, how are they going to handle this destruction. I mean, if you look at the Cardinal guys, they were extremely happy coming off the field. If you remember the first, when Poles got the last ground ball to end the eighth, pitcher walking into the dugout, he was like, let's go. And I was thinking in my head, let's get an extra run. Let's get an extra run is what my thought was as a coach. I don't know what they were saying, but, bada bing, bada boom, here we go. And it was really cool. I enjoy sports. I really do.
Well, you did mention the play of the game, and I definitely agree with you. Ian Kinsler stealing second base, and it was just a fraction, it seemed like, of an inch, and that really opened it up because, like you said, if Molina throws him out and there's one out and you've got nobody on base, it might be game over. And that's it. Cards win.
Yeah, and being down 2-0 would have been extremely tough, obviously. And, Pacino said it best in any given Sunday. I mean, it's a game of inches. And I tell you what, the other thing is people forget, La Russa, he moves the center fielder over to right center, and the guy hits behind Kinsler. The shortstop made a great play earlier, and it goes right to the center fielder, and Kinsler couldn't score on it.
Oh, he did.
However, the clip that Larry played, it said that the ball was cut off. Had the ball been cut off, then he wouldn't have scored probably later in the game. Unfortunately, he let him get the second, and that might have been the play that really allowed them to win the game.
Hey, Coach, before we go on, I must say, if you don't have a long career, if you just decide to call it quits early with college basketball as a coach, do you think you could be a color commentator at some point?
I've thought about that. Actually, about a lot of people talk to me about that, and they've said, boy, because I've done some different things before on radio and stuff, and they thought, I have a good chance of doing it. The one thing about coaching is a very, very, very stressful situation. There's a lot of things going on, and it puts a lot of stress on you, a lot on your family, a lot on what you're doing, because if you are passionate about it, you care about it like you do. Just talking with you out in the hallway, I know how you feel about doing what you do. And you're extremely passionate about what you want to do, and you want to be one of the best that there ever has been, which is awesome, which is the way it should be. And when you are, that's when your program begins to flourish and things come to fruition, so to speak. So I definitely have thought about it, but that's a long way down the pike because, being here right now, we got some work to do. And UNF's a special place, and we really feel like it has a chance to really, really, really be a special, special place. And I'd like to see that through.
Two passionate people on radio right here on Miller on Sports. Well, maybe one day I could do play-by-play, and you could do color commentary, and we could take over the world of sports. How about that?
I'm with you. Hey, make sure it looks like this every day, though.
Okay, that's fine. We'll do all our games outside. How about that?
Yeah, it's fine. Just the snow. Yeah, eliminate the snow.
There you go, Coach Matthew Driscoll right here on Miller on Sports. Well, I wanted to get your permission before we went on air about asking about Scott Drew and his parents. You were there before you went to UNF. He's been a head coach there since '03. Recently, his father found out he had prostate cancer. The news prompted his wife to go in, get a checkup. Her exam showed that she had stage 3 and still does bladder cancer. Have you spoken to Scott Drew and his parents and what their status is recently?
Really, when I interviewed for the job at Valparaiso when we left Clemson, he was the guy that I met with first, was Coach Drew, Daddy Drew. We call him Coach Drew. And, talked with him a whole bunch about basketball and about different things. And, of course, Janet, his mother, spent time with her as well. And I was only there for 7 weeks, and then we got the Baylor job. And they would come down periodically, and I would keep in touch with them. And then once I got the job here, he actually came on campus 3 years ago because there's a big Valpo contingency down here, and he has to come down and speak and raise money.
Oh, really?
Daddy Drew does. And he came on campus, but I was out recruiting. And he was like, man, Matt, what a great situation you have, how beautiful your campus is, yada, yada, yada. So I do text back and forth with him quite a bit during my career, and I've kept in touch with him. And then since this went down, I've talked at length with Scott, but I have touched base with Homer as well, too. And they're great Christian people. They have great faith in God, and they understand what they've done and where they're going and how things are what they are and how they need to do the best they can do at the time that they have now with us. So they've been awesome about it, but it is unfortunate, so to speak, when you talk about getting away from the job, getting away from all those 600 wins he had, and now planning a life with your wife and whatnot, kind of the next stage of your life. My dad went through it, unfortunately. My mom died at 89, and she was 59 years old, and my dad retired, a widow, and that's not a good thing.
No. Well, definitely, it seems like it's for the best. They're definitely on the road. They know what is right and the path ahead of them with the Drew family. And let's get to some real college basketball, because we had some preseason polls come out earlier this week. And I need to know this. You can be honest with me right here.
Well, I'm always going. I'm going to be honest with you.
You're always honest.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you.
That's all I ask. College basketball preseason polls and predictions. Do you follow them?
Yes, I do look at them for a couple different reasons. Number one, because of the schedule we play. I always like to know how many of them big dogs we're playing. In the last 10 years, we played 5 football national champions on our schedule this year. Now, we're not playing football, but nonetheless, it's something to talk about. But yeah, I do follow, because I do like to look and see. I was a high major coach. I was in the Big 12. I was in the ACC. I know a lot of people like to send out texts, like to send out email, hey, yada, yada, yada. But I will say this. Since the day I got the job, go back 3 years, look at our preseason polls in our league or whatever. I've always, not the exact same quote, but I have the exact same feelings. This time of the year is for you people. This time of the year is conversation and debate at the whatever you want it to be out of. Remember, Florida won their national championship. They weren't even ranked that year.
Oh, yeah.
So in March, that's reality. That's reality in March. So I think they're great. I think they're good. I think they give people a chance to really start talking about basketball, and that's why they do it, obviously.
Definitely.
But, because football, once the BCS polls come out, football takes a whole different deal. Because now people are really starting to follow those top 5 or those top 4 or who's going to be in that mix. Like West Virginia's 15. You see what I'm saying? And my wife's from West Virginia. She smiles. She has all her teeth, so don't make fun of her. But my point is, I think it's a great time for it to come out, because it creates that next part of it. And plus, with the NBA being out, it even creates more.
It enhances college basketball, definitely, indeed. Well, I look at the ASUN preseason polls. So you're telling me I don't have to tell you that UNF is tied for 3rd with JU. I don't need to tell you that. You already knew?
Yeah, well, a couple things. Don't forget, 2 years ago they picked us 11th. And last year they picked us 9th. So, we finished 7th, and last year we finished 6th, played for the championship. So, those things are what they are. And they it's people out there that are educated looking at it. But, what the thing you can't tell, for instance, Carolina, Kentucky, Ohio State, probably a pretty fine line between which one of those jokers.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, and probably Kentucky you didn't put up there because they're so new and they're so young. And Ohio State, they did lose some, but they still have Jared. They went to Jared. Thad's not dumb. But Carolina, all those guys could have went pro and they didn't. They stayed. So the thing that I really love is, who are those 5 or 6 teams? Can you the media, can you pickpocket and say, remember this team, or think about this team? Florida's pretty good. They had a couple guys sitting out. They got some young guys in. Patrick Young's going to actually be kind of on his own and be his own guy, because everybody else is out. He's out of shadow, so to speak. True. The guards. When you have guards,
guard play is excellent.
When you have guards, that just helps the matters 50-fold. So my point is, I'd like to see if somebody can pick those guys. Not Butlers and VCUs. I'm not talking that. I'm talking about some of the big dogs and kind of see where they're going to fit in.
Okay, excellent. Coach Matthew Driscoll, UNF men's head basketball coach, right here on Miller on Sports. Always so much fun. Blue and white opening night. It's tonight at the UNF Arena. Following the UNF-JU volleyball match, probably 8:30, 9 o'clock down there at the UNF Arena.
$10,000.
That's right.
One UNF student's going to get a chance for $10,000.
And I've got a few questions about this whole thing, if maybe you're going to do something. But I'll come back with it right here on Miller on Sports. And Coach Matthew Driscoll, it's a Florida News Network coming up next. You can also watch this interview a little bit later on MillerOnSports.com. We'll have the video of it at MillerOnSports.com. More of the show when we come back. I'm glad somebody called in. We gave away those four tickets for the Southern Women's Show. I will be down there tomorrow, actually, and bring some peanut butter. We're doing it as part of Talk Radio 600, WBOB, and The Promise. We've got a booth set up. Everybody's been down there. It seems like everybody's been gone. It's not just a Friday, but everybody's down there or has been down there. I will be down there Saturday, 11 a.m. until 2 p.m., just kind of hanging out.
Peanut butter?
Peanut butter, yes.
And you on the radio.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and radio do not go together.
No, they don't, no. And usually coffee and radio don't go together.
No, come on now. Come on. Coffee goes with everything.
Unless you're Coach Driscoll.
It's like red wine, white wine, coffee. That's the way it is.
Now, do we need to officially make our plug for you to get Dunkin' Donuts as your sponsor?
Well, you know what? I'm blessed that Dunkin' Donuts is so kind to me in general. Mm-hmm. And I love Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, I'm a huge Dunkin' Donut guy. I tweet about it a lot, talk about it a lot, drink it a lot. And actually, you know, the one good thing about Dunkin' Donuts is when you got one in your hand, people know it. Mm. You know, it's just one of those logos. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. And they just went public.
They did. Now, when you go to get your Dunkin' Donuts, do they already know your order when you show up?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a joke around the office. Yeah. Actually, one of our assistants went and got me one day, and they got to the window, and the lady said, "Oh, it's not Coach." You know, they were like, "Hey, come on, man." You know, so but they're great people, and out of town. I mean, they just built 2 new in town. Panhandle, you didn't used to have any. Now they got 2 in Tallahassee, and they're building another one in Rutherford. And I know where they're at too. Yeah, it's locked in.
And now, what is the Driscoll special? What does it have? Cream, no sugar?
Simple. No. Cream and 6 Splenda.
6 Splenda? Really?
Yeah.
I think at the most I use 2. At the most.
Well, 6 Splenda. Yeah, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But anyways,
That's for another time. That's another show right there.
Yeah.
We're talking with Coach Matthew Driscoll, UNF head men's basketball coach, right here on Miller on Sports. Well, we were talking about the preseason polls, and it does make for exciting talk with the media types like myself. Obviously, you're a coach. You vote in the coaches' poll. Where did you place your Ospreys?
First. I mean, where else can you place them?
Did you?
You're going to win. You know, last year, I wish we'd have beat Belmont. I would have brought the bracket out because at the bottom it says who's going to win the championship. Mm-hmm. We're all in this business to win. Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing that really, our team's this or our team's that. We're here to win championships. It's not arrogance. It's just why we're here. Right. If not, why would you play? And what are you going to say to the guys? You know, hey, come on, guys, let's do the best we can because I picked us to finish 4th.
Yeah, nobody's getting excited for that.
Yeah, I almost broke my wrist on that one. But my point is, they're a very good league, very, very balanced. Got some teams at the top. That Belmont, of course, is nationally known. Had a great year, 30-4 last year. Really got everybody back. Plays a lot of guys. Coach Bird's done a great job. Their last year in the league.
Right.
You know, East Tennessee State, always talented. Won 2 out of the last 6 championships. Belmont's won the other 4. Very talented. JU, very talented. Cliff does a great job. And the thing he does that's different is they're a pressing team. Nobody else in the league does that. So it makes them a different team. He just keeps adding the pieces. They keep moving forward. Lipscomb's always good. Mercer's always good. Campbell left the league. Mm-hmm. Kennesaw State is talented. Extremely talented. And then you got Florida Gulf Coast. You got Upstate. You got Stetson with a new coach. All 3 of the league is the league is all relative, Richard. When you've done this as long as I have, I thought, man, the ACC. And then I thought, man, the Big 12. Then I thought, man, the ASUN. I mean, they're all relative. Whatever league you're in, it's really good. Yeah, it's really good every day. And you got to help academics. You got to have injury. You got to help illness. all those things can play a part during your season where you might not have this piece of the puzzle or that piece of the puzzle, and it changes the whole dynamics. And sometimes people forget that. So we're really excited, though. 90% of our team is back. We're very junior heavy with 2 seniors, 2 sophomores, and 1 lowly freshman. I tell you one thing, he knows his name. He's heard it quite a bit. When you're the only guy, you hear your name quite a bit in practice, but we're really excited about where we're at.
Yeah, wonderful. Ospreys having an exhibition November 1st at home. Then the real season begins at Alabama 10 days later. Do you get nervous for the start of the regular season?
Yeah, that's a great question because Coach Drew, when I first got the job, we used to have a running joke for 6 years. And no, when I say no, everybody gets nervous. Players get nervous.
That's
Don't
human
be
nature.
Yeah, LeBron James gets nervous. But I feel very, very good about going in because I think our staff does a great job of preparing. And the funny thing, we went to Canada, and the one thing I asked the guys afterwards is, what was different the most? And they said, Coach, if we'd have known more about the other team and we'd have done scouting, we felt we even could have done better. Mm-hmm. So that was a great sign to know how much they're plugged into what our staff presents to them.
Absolutely.
And when you do that and you feel prepared, let's let the chips fall where they may. Mm-hmm. Let's get it on. Alabama, let's go. Last time we played at Alabama, we were up at halftime. And I'm not saying – but a guy asked me one day, he said, Coach, first game, Notre Dame, how are you going to beat Notre Dame, or what are you going to tell your guys? Here's what we're doing, here's why we're doing it, we're going to win. I mean, it isn't a secret. We're not going there to get close. This isn't horseshoes. So, we're really excited. The schedule's great, 15 home games. We've never had that before. So we're really fired up about where we are and where we're going.
And I'd say 7 tough major conference opponents on the road this year. How do you get your team ready for that? You're 10 guys. You say, all right, this is Alabama, this is Florida, let's go.
That's another great question by you. The thing about that, Richard, is, and the thing that's great is our guys are so veteran now. I mean, we played so many BCS schools. We played so many high major schools. We played so many road games. There's not an Applebee, a hotel chain. There's not an air transport train. We know
donuts.
Oh, they're everywhere. Trust me. And we stay in hotels that are close. But we look at that when we start plugging them. But my point is, those guys are. Let me tell you this: we've won 11 road games in the league in 2 years. Last year we were the 3rd best road team in the league. Belmont, who won the league, East Tennessee State, who came in second, who I told you have been very good with JU up and winning championships. And we were the 3rd best road team. So I think it's bode well for us when we get to the league. Now we just got to take care of business at home. Having 15 home games now, that's what we really think is going to help us go.
Head coach of the UNF men's basketball team, the Ospreys, blue and white opening night tonight. It's after the UNF-JU volleyball match at the UNF Arena. Probably start 8:30, 9 o'clock. Be down there. And if you're a UNF student, raffle ticket, shot at $10,000 for tuition, a little half-court shot. So maybe you should practice that a little this afternoon.
Some other money and some other prizes as well. We're giving away $100 to some different stuff, and then we're going to give away some prizes as well as the $10,000. So
nice, excellent. And I did want to ask you, going to the last break, I wanted to ask you because we've seen so many times of coaches or players dancing or rapping or singing. Do you have anything planned for tonight, Coach?
I actually did have something planned.
Did you? Can you release a little something?
I used the word did.
Did? Why?
Well, it's a long story.
Would you embarrass your wife, your kids? What would happen?
No, I don't know if they would be embarrassed because they were going to be part of it. But there's something big coming to campus, and didn't want to overshadow something huge that's coming to campus. It's going to be a great fundraiser and a great deal for these particular families and these particular kids.
Okay.
So I thought it was in our best interest to not do something that we had thought about possibly doing so. But you never know. Could be something else up the sleeve. I do know some magic tricks. So
do you?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I look forward
I'm still waiting for that 7-footer to fall out. You know that 7-foot point guard.
That Jared Sullinger, maybe.
Woo, man! I'd go to Jared. Yeah.
I think a lot of people would. Well, what excites you about this Ospreys team right now on a Friday afternoon? You look at the roster, and I say, what excites you? And your answer is
their love for each other. I really, really, really love the way these guys are as people like this. They're not perfect. They're not angels. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the way they feel about each other, their esprit de corps, so to speak, their camaraderie, their whatever you want to call it. Chemistry is hard to define. Coaches struggle to define it because I don't know how, you just know it when it's there.
Right.
And I tell you what, I really love our character of guys. I love who they are. I love how they love each other. That would be the thing that really is exciting me.
Real quick before we go to the break and we let you go, it's been an absolute pleasure this afternoon. I always like to ask coaches what their team goal is for the year, and what is your goal going into the 2011-2012 season?
Same goal as when we took the job, same goal as we were 3 years ago and last year. We're here to win the championship in the Atlantic Sun. That is what we're here to do. Anything less would not be what we have set out to do. Mm-hmm. So we're here to win the Atlantic Sun Championship, period.
Excellent. It's always a pleasure, and I know we'll be talking quite a bit during the regular season. We'll have the games for you on WBOB.
Yeah, you're our station.
Hey, we're the station.
Yeah.
There we go. Coach Matthew Driscoll right here on Miller on Sports. Good luck tonight with whatever you have up your sleeve, and then with the rest of the season.
Thank you, Rich. It's really been great to be here, and I appreciate you. You're a well-educated media person that really does your homework and understand what's going on. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. And the mic is always cracked for you, and you can always bang your fists on our table, if you will. Coach Matthew Driscoll right here on Miller on Sports. Coming up, we'll talk some high school football, a little NFL, and much more on Talk Radio 600 WBOB. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Miller on Sports. More of the show on a Friday afternoon right after this.